Okay, that was 15 minutes wasted for part 1. For part 1. Come on, brain, we're already failing. No, for take 1. This is take 2. Hopefully it goes a lot better than take 1 went. It was jumbled. It's a jumbled mess of a video. And I was just getting annoyed. And I figured rather than keep trying to go and fail, we'll just end the video and then come back fresh 2 seconds later. This is the comic reviews for this week. I say this week like I do it every week. Like every week I say it's comic reviews now. Like next week, actually no, it will be. But not in the way that... So next week is going to be the books I read last month, that they're all published by Image and they're in my PC. And usually comic reviews are more general. Like they can be from any publisher. So that's why I was saying to myself, like, yeah, no, it's not every week. And even then, like, I think the following Wednesday, will probably be what I'll be reading for the rest of the month video. If I end up deciding to do that, I might not. Time will tell if I end up not doing that or not. Because Wednesday is 24th. So that'd be good for this Eve. Anyways, it's just crazy to think about, by the way. I also feel the same way, because I'm sure I wasn't the only one that was like, oh my god, you're right. So, and what's something I want to mention? Oh, the reason why this video was so late. It's time management. That's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to get better at time management. Finding so my goal is to find an equal balance between reading comics and other things. So, instead of reading comics all day and have it being like 11 per day on average, I would maybe knock it down to 8. And then when I'm done all 8, if I still want to read, fine. But if I want to watch a movie or video game, play some video games or whatever, I give myself the rest of that day to accomplish those other little goals I want for the day. And a lot of it is, and also for videos too, because I should have uploaded the Image comics I read last month ages ago. That should have been done on the that first weekend. So it should have been done on Saturday, but it wasn't. It clearly was not done on Saturday, or else you would have gotten, and then uploaded it ahead of time on Wednesday. Because always that didn't happen because you got no Wednesday video, no Wednesday upload. And for this video, for the comic reviews, I'm gonna do the Image books tomorrow. It's a more involved video. To be fair, to do that during the week is kind of risky, because that's a lot. It will take me at least an hour to upload that, and film that, upload that, hour round, and then actually it's getting all the books together. So you factor all that in, recording, uploading, getting everything together, not in that order. That will probably take me about an hour, and that's a lot for a work night. So that's why I decided I was gonna do it on Saturday. I was like, okay, do it on Saturday, get it ahead of time. So maybe Sunday, if you figure out. Maybe Sunday, if you're thinking to yourself, yeah, that video did not come out well. I said figure out instead of whatever else I was supposed to say, and I messed up, and now I can't think of any words anymore. And I also, if that ended up happening, I could re-upload on Sunday with a new fresh cut of that video. But obviously I did not end up doing that. So time management, that's again, New Year's resolution, and it's more generalized. So that way I get stuff done. Because also, there are movies I've had to return to the library because I kept on neglecting to watch it that day. Because I push it off till last minute, where I should have, if anything, done it in the middle. So I read some comics, then I watch the movie, and finish off the comics I want to read for that day. And hey, it was 8, so I was able to do that. And still get in the other stuff I wanted to do in the meantime. That's more what it looked like for me, thinking out loud, if anything. But that's kind of what my thought process is. That's what I should have said. But anyways, let's get into it. I do like to... So I said thinking out loud, not in the sense like, oh, I said it's only for me personally. No, it's just more just explaining what I meant by time management skills. I thought that was necessary to explain. DC versus Sonic the Hedgehog. Not much to say about this one other than it's a fun ride, and if you like either Sonic or DC Comics, or you're like me, probably the wrong side, Sonic or DC Comics, or you're like me, or just casually optimistic, you have no real expectations going in, you just want to see what a DC Comics and Sonic crossover will look like, it will not disappoint. There's to expect more than anything, more than just a fun book with not a whole lot of substance to it. Then you'll be good. You don't expect more than that because it doesn't have a lot of substance. It's Sonic versus DC Comics. You get exactly what you paid for this, and I did, and I came out satisfied. 6.5 out of 10. Now, why don't I give it a 9 out of 10 for entertainment value? That's not how I do it. I generalize everything. 9 out of 10s are usually reserved for comics that were like really good, and like I would consider reading them again within a heartbeat. And this one, I probably would take at least 6 months. My rule is every 6 months on average, and it's that way for a reason. Because there are books like this that I'm like, there's no reason for me to reread this, like even 2 months from now. However, a series I will definitely be reading 2 months from November when I first read it is The One Hand and the Six Fingers, which I finally got. This one was a long time waiting. So my library has an interloan system. That's where I got Sonic. And a little side note for Sonic, the reason why I found it is I had no idea they even had a DC Comics Sonic crossover. The only reason why I even found it, came across it, was that I filtered it. And I did, what are some new releases? And they showed me, here's some new releases from lending libraries. Here's Sonic. Here's this. Here's that. And so I found Sonic. I was like, okay, perfect. Let's order that one. And I did. I don't know why I said it so awkwardly. But anyways, this one, I just interloaned. So I do own this book. I got it for Christmas last year, but it was a novelty. So what do we mean by novelty? Well, back in the day, when I started, when I first read series like Wayward, I thought to myself, this is a series I like so much that even though the library has the full entire series, I still want to own it myself. And then I bought the hardcovers, which was an upgrade too, by the way. So added bonus. I've done that for several series from my local library has, specifically from Image. I did it with Maestros, Post Americana, Man Eaters. So Man Eaters is definitely a series that was like not held to the same come on, brain, the same depth, the same width, the same length, the same height. Candle pin? That doesn't sound right. I don't know. It's not held to the same way as I hold Wayward. Like, Wayward is linked to balance better than Man Eaters, and Man Eaters is definitely a so bad it's good comic for me. So, and then I have books like the Infinite Horizon that I was just kind of to fill in that gap, because I wanted to do at least one per month, and the streak was going really well, and I just couldn't think of anything else to get that month. So, you know what, Infinite Horizon, screw it. You're definitely scraping the bottom of the barrel there, because it also wasn't even the last thing I needed from Jerry Duggan from Image Comics at the time. So I just decided to, I was like, whatever. And then you would have series like Mother of Madness, where I was like, well, if you own the best, you own the best, that being Wicked and Divine, might as well own the worst, which is Mother of Madness. So, and books like Wicked and Divine, I got the soft covers. I could have probably chipped in and got the hard covers, or waited for the compendium to come out, but I decided to get the soft covers of all 9 volumes of The Wicked and the Divine. Actually 8 at that point, because it was 2 through 9, because I already had volume 1. So that's how it would happen. That's what would happen. I would read my library's copy. I liked it so much, I bought it myself. Then you had the flip side, where I saw or knew that my local library had a copy of this book, and I decided to say to myself, you know what, when you read it, read the library's copy. At least the first time. But I will definitely be checking this. Now going to the actual review itself. I want to do a little bit of a precursor before, and you guys can all rejigger your memory while I take a drink break. That was a lot of backstory. One Hand and the Six Fingers. I'm not a huge fan of Ron P's writing. Um, I would say in general, I feel very mixed. I have very mixed feelings about his writing. But even his best, nothing is really above an 8 out of 10. This being an exception for two reasons. One, I just really liked it, obviously, and two, it's two series put into one graphic novel and one story. So it's Dan Waters and Ron V that both worked on the series. But Ron V wrote the One Hand, and Dan Waters wrote the Six Fingers. But I would argue that I would still consider them both to be co-authors of the other, because they had to probably talk to one another and say, hey, what, and they worked on it together in general. I can't imagine it was a, hey, what's going on with your book? Like, I have no idea what's going on. No, they were both together, they both collabed. It's like a YouTuber collaboration. Or when a singer comes on to feature themselves in a song with their artist. That's exactly what this is. And they do pull it off. Like, especially in the sense of having two writers write two separate sides of a story. That does come together in a way that I did appreciate, but it is one of those things that could easily have been felt forced, and they never did feel forced. So based off that alone, definitely high ratings for this series, but it's also really damn entertaining. Now, I did have expectations that weren't completely met, but I would not say this was a disappointment at all. But I did wait, was it 8 months? It was a crazy amount of time. April to November. So May, June, July, August, September, November. Yes. 6 months. Half a year for this book to come in. And it wasn't like the library just had it on order for the longest time. No, it was just people kept checking it out. And then it was just like, I was position 3. And then, like, months would go by, and I'd still be position 3, and then position 2, same thing would happen. And it was just like that patron would check it out forever. Like, it's not that thick a book. You read one chapter a day. And that's what I would do. Like, I don't know. I know not everyone is able to do that. Like, some people just read, like, half per day. So it would take them 20 days to finish it rather than 10. But it was crazy. Crazy amount of time of wait. Crazy amount of waiting time. But anyways, the One Hand and the Six Fingers, it's definitely worth checking out. If you saw the trailer online, or just that you see this cover here and think it'll interest you, I'll flip inside the artwork here. I don't usually do that, but it's just an exception. Then definitely check this one out. It will not disappoint. And I give it a 8.5 out of 10. Mostly because of Dan Waters' stories. I do still think that Ron V was the weaker writer of the two. And overall, like, a lot of my high praise comes from the Dan Waters series. But Ron V still does a fantastic job. And still a Ron V comic I would consider to be in the great pile rather than the disappointing / bad pile. And a reason for why in general, say I have mixed feelings about Ron V's writing. I do want to reread Bees Savage Shores, though. I did like it, and sometimes I didn't like it, I want to give it a second chance. But no, I really liked it. Like, I was just thinking about that, just in the first cut. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to check that one out again. The Avengers War Across Time. One of the best Silver Age homages that we could have gotten. And I'm not just saying that because that's the way that's the way these writers are. No, just in general. Paul Levitz definitely did his homework when it came to all the little, like, how the characters acted back then. All those, like, the smaller details, too, that it's kind of crazy that he noticed. Like, the way the dialogue was kind of corny at times and had that, but not in a sense like how someone that has read a few Silver Age comics but doesn't really, like, this does the bare minimum. No, this is like blood, sweat, and tears went into this book, and it shows in every single page, with whether it's a writer, the artist, or the colorist. They all come together, in the letterer too, they all come together to make this look as close to Silver Age as they can without going back in time themselves. And it gets an 8.5 out of 10 just for that. Now, Silver Age for me, Marvel, I'm very hit or miss. Like, Avengers, God no, so I really like this one. Spider-Man, definitely. Fantastic Four, I actually think I like more than Spider-Man, the Silver Age, at least. So, when it comes to Silver Age, I definitely do have a soft spot for it. However, I don't run out to buy every new Silver Age, like, omnibus that comes out, I can do without not having every single age omnibus that comes out, or not even having read any Silver Age comics in a really long time. But definitely worth checking out. Paul Levitz writes this one, and the only reason I mentioned that is the reason why I was mentioning that. The name did sound familiar though. And he definitely has written more than just that for Marvel, but even then, like, it was like definitely anything but a disappointment. And I didn't know what was going. I didn't know what the storyline was even about going in, so I was surprised to find out it was a Silver Age homage. I thought it would just be like set in the modern day. If anything, it would just be like a standalone series that's disconnected from modern continuity, but still a modern book. Now, it is a homage to Silver Age, but it doesn't have nearly as much dialogue as Silver Age comics did, and that was one thing I definitely appreciated. But still, like, even going off of that, and it was honestly, like, when I finished it, I was like, yeah, this is proof that the Silver Age had no business being not wordy. I know it's dated, and that was how comics were back in the day, but it's kind of funny to think to myself, like, yeah, they didn't mean to be that wordy. Like, I always just thought it was just like a curse or whatever, and I was just, not a curse. That's way too. Come on, a curse. Come on, brain, really? That of all words. Let's move on. I think that's what I'm getting at, anyways. Astonishing X-Men Volume 1. This is one of those comics that people say is really good, and you think it's overhyped because it's like, it can't be that good. And no, it is. Like, leaps and bounds, it is. 100%. 9 out of 10. Cannot wait to read Volume 2, which apparently I did not read Volume 2. I just read this volume. Now, Volume 2, I did find my copy. I did end up finding it, and the condition I found it in, unfortunately, it was kind of shoved on top of books. It was kind of shoved into a corner of my shelf, so I had it stacked on the last row of the shelves. I had it stacked, so it was right where, like, the first row of the shelves stacked under that, because you have room under the shelves, at least the way that my shelves are built, and it was kind of shoved into a corner, like little corner, and then rung. It was only up against a rung, so it very warped. So I have it. My copy I have it stacked on top of other books, so the warping can fix itself, and then I'm going to be reading the library's copy. That's what I had to do. I'm a super stutter, by the way. That was what I had to do. I had to get my library's copy for Volume 2, because I could not find it myself. And it was really weird, because it's not anywhere that I should have been able to see it the 50 times I was looking for it there. Whatever. Astonishing X-Men Volume 1, 9.5 out of 10. It is that good. Must be read, must read, all that. It's in daylight here, though. What time is it right now? I've wasted 15 minutes with the first cut, so. Yeah, 4:08. Alright. Oh! How long ago was that? Can't check when that was. Okay. On. Might as well at this point. Now it's a nighttime video. Oh, and that light over there, for the reason I'm blinking off and on. Sometimes, not all the time. I don't know why. Alright. Black Widow. This one, okay, so this one I don't usually talk about each individual storyline in like an epic collection or an omnibus the few times I do review these bigger collections. But this time, I do feel the need to mention it. Now, first up, it's Devin Grayson and Greg Rucka. Devin Grayson writes the first 3. Greg Rucka jumps on to help Devin Grayson out for the next 3. The final 3 are done by Greg Rucka himself. In general, those 9 issues are really damn good. My favorites being the second series. That one that's one's co-written by Greg Rucka. But the first and second one, that's my favorite in general. Like, hands down, no contest. The Pale Little Spider, that's the Marvel Max series, that's 3 issues that's written by Greg Rucka. I really feel it should have been at least 4 or 5 issues, not because I feel like some things weren't established upon or elaborated on. I just felt like overall it should have been 5 issues because of how much I really liked that series. And it just scared the hell out of me, that damn notification. It was just that good. Now, my my brain just fizzled out. Just completely fizzled out. Like, grinded to a halt, blank, nothing. That was insane. That never happens. What the hell was it? That was just like completely lost it. Alright, so Black Widow, Pale Little Spider, posted in 5 issues. And again, not because oh, and this isn't fleshed out. That wasn't fleshed. No, most I really liked it, and they wanted more. And I feel like more could have been explored, but still a definitive beginning, middle, and end. But then we get to the Richard K. Morgan 6-issue series, which is 12 issues total, and that I did not like the first time around. Like, I think I said, I went so far as to say that not only was it the weakest out of the entire Epic collection, but I would have been fine if they had removed it from the Epic collection and just moved on to the next series. But they go in chronological order, so they had to give you the Richard K. Morgan series after that. Now, this time around, I definitely had a complete turnaround. Like, I actually, like, all around, this gets a 9 out of 10, and that's even including the Richard K. Morgan stuff. The Richard K. Morgan issues are extremely dark, and that's how I want my Black Widow stories to be, but a lot more dialogue, a lot more narration here. Not narration. It's a lot more dialogue, and I felt like the first time around, I felt like that really hurt the pacing. And here it does a little bit, but it's not as noticeable the second time around. It's just because of how great the pacing is for the first 9 issues. When we get to the final 12, it's just noticeably different. And I did not like it the first time. It turned me off the first time. And then here, I'm not going to say the opposite, the exact opposite. That's no, not what I'm trying to get. I definitely came out of this one liking it just fine. But again, still the weakest. I still feel the Richard K. Morgan stories are the weakest out of all the stories here. But all in all, it's not a waste of money because those are included in there. A waste of time because they're included in there. In my case, I got this for free as a library. 9 out of 10. Helen of Windhorn. If I was doing pick of the weeks, I honestly, you know what? Pick of the week. Hands down, pick of the week. This is written by Tom King. And that is insane to think about. That Tom King series is my pick of the week. Even the stories that I've liked by him, the kind of few and far between ones, I still consider myself to be more mixed by Tom King's writing in general. But even with the ones I really liked from him, I would not consider it to be pick of the week. This is straight up pick of the week. 9 point, honestly, maybe even 10 out of 10, but 9.5 out of 10. I do feel like the last issue was, like, the 5th issue was this like, not groundbreaking, but this, like, absolutely, like, just huge-ass cliffhanger, and then issue 6 sounded like they do this thing where, like, okay, I get what you're doing, but, like, would have liked a little bit more of an explanation as to why you just jumped from 0 to 50. Not 0 to 100, but 0 to 50 pretty quickly. But it did not hurt at all my overall enjoyment of the series. This is definitely Tom King's, the best thing I have read by Tom King, and did deserve its Eisner win. 100% worthy of getting the oversized hardcover treatment, too. And I honestly would say to 100% buy that. I would say I honestly was going to buy it myself, but I don't know why I didn't say it like that. Anyways, 9.5 out of 10. And one thing that this book does right is the emotional scenes. And Tom King, in my eyes at least, does struggle with that. Either it's too dismal, depressing, down, like, too blue, and it's, like, overindulgent, over-exaggerated in that. But not by too much for me, but definitely, like, noticeable. But here it's done in a actually respectful, no, say respectful, it's not disrespectful in the other cases, but it's done here in the complete opposite way that Heroes in Crisis dealt with those subject matters. And it's proof that Tom King has come a long, long way from Heroes in Crisis. And anything in this is the antithesis of Heroes in Crisis. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to move on. I don't want to give too much away. regarding Helena Windhorn. Spectrograph. This is James Tinian, and I was very disappointed with this one. This one was just, it kind of felt like James Tinian wrote this one while half asleep. And because he's a really competent writer, that still means he delivers a well-written book. But well-written in the sense that it follows all the, the writing rules. Nothing, it's just like, not like he forgets things and then that's never explained again, and it's because he forgot about it. Nothing is unprofessional here. It's just okay. That's all I had to say about that one. 6 out of 10. Yeah, 5 out of 10, honestly. Yeah, 5.5 out of 10. That, as they say, is that.